Alright. Through this scene, you'll hear subtle noises in the background coming from horns, bells, and ships, and ultimately a splash. That could be direct sound, could have been superimposed later on. There's no way to know that right now. The only sound that should be taken into consideration is the dialogue again. This here will act as our surrogate establishing shot. We see he's on the edge of a bridge, or on a railing of something, but we don't know where. If it's the same bridge as earlier or what, we still do not know. This is a long shot again, employing only natural lighting in our outdoor setting. There's some religious significance here. On the left of the screen, you'll see an angel statue, and on the right, Vittorio Accattone. There's an obvious display of distanciation for the spectators here. The spectators on screen are beneath Vittorio and that statue. You'll see the lighting is not as stressed on them, suggesting either that they're not as important or perhaps that they're demonic. They are made to have no faith that he can make this dive he's about to get into, and that lack of faith is maybe to the filmmaker made to be analogous to evil. I'm not even going to get into the camera positioning. Maybe Pasolini shot this from a friggin' magic carpet or some shit. Okay, a high-angle long shot. Pasolini really works miracles with the natural lighting. The sunbeams highlight who or what we, as spectators, are supposed to be looking at. The camera is angled downward. The frame uses that railing to separate the little people far below looking upward, and the closer people on the right, on the bridge itself, also looking at Vittorio as suggested. The size and proportion of these little extras delineate the space difference in terms of vertical planes. Vittorio is way high up. All eyes and nipples are staring at him. There's that element of spectacle. It could be a point of view shot, but it seems like the camera is positioned a bit behind the railing where Vittorio is standing, so either way we've got our first example of a tableau shot here. An extreme long shot revealing exactly where Mr. Jumper is, almost like the establishing shot displaced. Now this is subtle and took a lot of re-watching, but this huge ship in the foreground is moving away from the action, which suggests Accattone is waiting for the large vehicle to move out of the way before he would make the jump, signifying a little ellipsis in temporality clued in by visual devices. This type of shot gives the picture a bit of an epic feel, which would later be utilized by big picture A movies like The Godfather and other such classics. You can call this a wide tableau shot if you want. It echoes that static long shot style. Pasolini throws the viewers for a loop. Is it a low angle shot looking up or just straight on? If it's straight on, again, you have to ask about his use of a magic carpet, unless he was shooting this from that big boat or something. You see people looking from the mountainside. You also see a whole bunch of guys' flesh at once. One might even say unnecessarily. Hey, we get the point. It's a hot day out. Looking up, looking up. A group shot taken from a fixed camera again, tableau. And wouldn't you know, not one person in the shot has his pants on. Aw. This one asshole looks like he's a referee with a little blunt. This guy's wearing a leopard skin short shorts. God alone knows if these poor saps even have clothes on in the background. Element of voyeurism at play, both for the characters looking up at Vittorio Accattone and for Pasolini telling the DP to get more tableau shots of scantily clad men. This is a weird shot. Maybe Pasolini filmed it from a raft or a kayak, again mixing its possibilities of being a POV shot from any character. Unless it's a mermaid or the Loch Ness Monster. It's blatantly low angle and far of a young lad asking, "You're diving with all your gold on?" Even this little kid is worried about money. Some promising generation that's passing him the torch, eh? Up above, more spectators look like crows or maybe vultures waiting to take Vittorio's possessions after he bites it. Notice that the kid has a hatchet in his hand. Why? I don't know. Phallic symbol? The hell should I know? I didn't record this. Here's a medium close shot. Accattone takes the frame. He wants to die with his gold on, like the pharaohs reportedly. Maybe since he didn't live like a king in royalty, he wanted to at least die that way. This suggests an unfulfilled desire to be more than what he is. You're going to hear it coming up. This is our first example of off-screen sound as someone shouts, "Give it to us." This voiceover is immediately proven diegetic as Vittorio shouts back a reply, "Come and die for it," alluding to the sort of work ethic he's promoting, one that he himself never followed, as we'll later see in the film. He wants to die like the pharaohs. He's going to die like a hypocritical jackass. High-angle far shot is at work, maybe even extreme far shot. This was probably just used for the effect, again, of distanciation, showing how far apart our protagonist is from the rest of the world, and showing the other characters are being chicken shits, using stiff necks as an excuse to Accattone's challenge. Is this a point of view shot? Absolutely. Back to the medium close shot again. Maybe now this affection image of Vittorio is functioning as a cue to his potential second thoughts or nervousness as he looks down at his fate. A shadow is cast on Vittorio again, this time differentiating his head from his body. Maybe his mind is in a different place now and is thinking about the afterlife or what the possibilities of this mighty descent will be. Either way, he's positioned for the dive, and that's just what he's gonna do. He says he's doing it to satisfy the masses. He's not doing it for himself, is he? Maybe. Remember that one conversation earlier that he was using this feat to pay off a debt? Well, we see the Roman Catholic version of the sign of the cross before this next jump in. Final shot of the scene. He spreads his arm in a like position to that of Jesus during crucifixion. Some critics would say that he's made to look Christ-like here, but personally I'd be offended by that, so screw it. Here's another extreme far shot that we saw earlier. The camera is tilting down for the first example of mobile framing we've seen in a little while. The big splash again is probably actual sound, but could have been dubbed later on with a Foley stage or something, or sound library. Finally, we see it dissolve into the next scene and the rest of the film. This has been an audio-visual sample of how I would review a film, shot by shot, at 21 years old. Thank you for listening.